What are the best drawing apps for the iPad in 2024? Every year I go and I make a list of some of my favorite drawing apps and the updates and the things that have happened to them and sort of tier them in a video in the hopes that you can be best informed as to what iPad app you need to use when drawing. And there is a lot of them. In fact, there's an iPad app that I use now more than Procreate, so stick around to know why. Okay, let's start off with the obvious, Procreate. This app has been around for so long. In fact, I had Procreate prior to the Apple Pencil. That's how long I've had this, which I don't know why. I just had it for finger painting, but that's by the by. Procreate is probably the go-to app for many artists out there. It's got a very easy to use interface that isn't distracting. You're able to create your own brushes, which I'll talk a bit more about. And it just feels great. It's responsive. It doesn't feel like a heavy app. I've used Procreate for everything to do with calligraphy with the Apple Pencil. I've used it for hand lettering, for generating logo type ideas, and essentially just replacing paper when I don't want to be drawing on actual paper. Procreate isn't just a powerful drawing app though. It has an amazing brush engine. What do I mean by that? Well, the unique thing about Procreate is the ability to create any brush you desire inside the app itself. But not only that, you can send that brush to other people, you can export it out as a brush file and then sell it on your website. Everything from calligraphy style brushes like a parallel pen that I've created. I've created brush pens before, monoline inked pens, normal pencils, everything you can think of you can create. But not only does Procreate have a drawing app, they've even created their own animation app, which is called Procreate Dreams. Now, the great thing about these apps is that they are very cost efficient. They are one-time payments, there's no subscriptions involved, and they really don't cost a lot. Procreate Dreams is an animation app where you can do frame-by-frame animation in a new way, and it's really intuitive to use. I've used it for little bits of animation here and there when I want that sketchbook kind of idea, but you can see the animations that people have done. People from professional animation studios have created some amazing looking cinematic sequences through just this app alone, which is just wild when you think about it. The experience in Procreate Dreams is very similar to the experience in Procreate as well. It's got all of the elements that you would suggest it to have, that you would think that would be there to make you feel at home. So if you're looking for animation, that is one amazing app that you can check out. The second best drawing app that I would suggest you get is Adobe Fresco. Now, this is going to be a bit controversial. I think that Adobe Fresco is currently better than Procreate. Now, let me explain why. I, as a graphic designer, require precision. That sounded very pretentious, but it's true. We require precision. We like straight lines. We like the ability to draw with things like rulers. And unfortunately, Procreate doesn't have that ability to have like an actual digital ruler. You can draw straight lines and everything in Procreate, but you can't simply have a ruler and have guide shapes there for you as easily. Now, the great thing about Fresco is that you have these shapes automatically there, which is great for drafting, not just illustration. It's great for having consistencies for logo types, for drawing calligraphy, for hand lettering, for architecture. Not only that, but Fresco has got some secret weapons up its sleeve, which I love. You have what I like to say are three modes in Fresco. You have normal drawing, just like in Procreate. You can draw and add layers and do basically everything in Procreate. You have something called live paint, which is simulating real paints, and it's really, really satisfying when you do it with oil paint because you can actually see the little bumps and textures in the paint. And the third workspace is vector, which is very interesting. The vector tools inside of Fresco are limited. However, it allows you to illustrate in complete vector format without having to leave the app. This means that I can draw normally with bitmap, which is not vector, a little sketch of lettering or anything. Then I can come in the same app, draw vector and export it to Illustrator or Photoshop or wherever. It's wild. Vector with precision is just great. Not only that, but Adobe Fresco is continually updating itself. It's getting animation features, and you can see that features are being added all the time. For me, Fresco is great, not only because it is essentially just drawing. The pencil actually feels really good. I don't know what it is, but that default pencil is just really nice. And the realism from Adobe Fresco as well is great. They've even got this one feature, which is genius, by the way, which is called Draw Inside. You just press this little button and you can start scribbling, and it will essentially force you to stay within the lines, which speeds up my workflow massively when I'm just needing to color in a letter form or a logo very fast to bring into Adobe Illustrator. This is my favorite daily driver. Now, the downsides of Fresco, it is subscription based. However, if you're like me and you have the full Adobe suite, then it's part of that too, so you don't have to worry. Some of the plus sides is that when you save something in Adobe Fresco, it will save within your Creative Cloud libraries or your Creative Cloud, so you can open it up directly in Photoshop, so it's all synced by the cloud. Now that might be a bit of a breaker for you, and if it is, I'm sorry, but some of these features will outweigh other features for different people. Okay, let's move on to another Adobe app that I use quite often, which is Illustrator. Now, this isn't really a drawing app, this is an illustration app. Adobe Illustrator on iPad is relatively new. It's only been out for a few years now. However, I still think it is pretty darn amazing. Let's say you wanted to edit some illustration or do some freehand work in your Illustrator document and you have an iPad. Well, if you have Adobe Illustrator on your computer, you can get it on your iPad through the Creative Cloud services. Having Adobe Illustrator on your iPad allows you to draw like you would in Illustrator using the pencil tool. But not only that, you've got the pen tool. You've got everything that you kind of need for the basics of Illustrator on your iPad, and it's natively there. So nowadays, do I use a Wacom Cintiq tablet to essentially draw freehand on Illustrator on my desktop? No, I use my iPad. I can just save a document on Illustrator for the Creative Cloud, then open it up on my iPad, draw what I need to, and then save it again and just go back on my computer. The workflow is just better. Now, another amazing drawing app, which is more of a design app again, is Affinity Designer. Now, I'll admit, I do not use Affinity Designer. However, I feel the need to put it in here as I've put Illustrator in there as well. So to be fair on everyone, I wanted to give you an alternative. But Affinity Designer has many of the tools that you'll see in Photoshop and Illustrator. Again, it's a one-time purchase for any of you out there that are into the one-time purchases. Maybe you don't like subscriptions, but it has a lot of the key features in there for drawing, illustration, and general design work. And I hear that they're always updating the app as well, which is great to know. There'll be some of you out there that are still rocking Apple Notes, and I agree with you. It is a drawing app that people use. A lot of you may not want to be downloading apps, or maybe you just want something very basic and simple. Apple Notes is actually pretty good. Yes, it is essentially just a very basic note-taking app. However, you can draw in there. It has a ruler, surprisingly, and the drawing brush is pretty good. It allows you to save to PDF easily. You can transcribe your writing if you wanted to. If you're a note taker that's looking at this video, then Apple Notes is actually pretty good, and it's free, and it's cross-platform to your iPhone, your iPad, your Mac. It's wild. Now, before I get into my next note-taking app, which is for drawing, I just want to thank the sponsor of this video, Squarespace. Remember when I said in Procreate you can export your brushes and sell them? Well, Squarespace is a website builder where you can build your own website, whether that's e-commerce, your portfolio, whether you want to have a blog. Squarespace has got it all, and they have thousands of fully customizable, award-winning templates. But don't be frightened about the word templates. Don't think you're too good for them, because these templates you can edit as much as you like. Squarespace have something called the Fluid Engine, which allows you to essentially design your website like you would on Photoshop or Illustrator. It's pretty wild that you can just edit this. We've been using it for our new course logo launch that we put onto Squarespace because it is that good, and we weren't paid to say that bit. That is just the truth. If you wanted to sell your resources, maybe you've got some amazing brushes or templates, or maybe you create fonts or anything design related, then Squarespace allows you to quickly and easily set up an online store, sort out your domains, and also by watching this video and supporting this channel, you get 10% off using my code or the link in the description. So right now, if you wanted to check it out, you can. It's free for 7 days. Click the link down below for a 7-day free trial, and then use my code when you're ready to go. So if you don't believe me, give it a try and see how you feel, and then you've got the 10% off. Notability is an app that I'm sure most of you will have seen if you're a student. It's amazing at taking notes. I wouldn't class it as a drawing app though, but I feel the need to put it in here because a lot of you guys, if you're using your iPad for drawing, you may be taking notes as well, especially if you're students. I like Notability. It's easy to use. It's got amazing features where you can create stickers and just keep jotting them in there. It's quite fun. You can create these little icons, save it as a sticker, and you can reuse it all the time. It's like a scrapbook. If you're not a professional drawer, but you would like to bullet journal, or you would just like to make some notes whilst recording audio, so if I'm talking to you now, you could record the audio and take notes of what I'm saying, then it's the perfect app for you. And the last app, which is a drawing and design app, is called Linearity Curve. This is a vector drawing app that I've used quite a lot in the past. I love the functionality of it. It is made to work on iPad and computer, and it used to work on the iPhone. I'm not sure whether it works there anymore, but you could like have all your documents on your phone, your iPad, and your Mac. Pretty wild. It's got a cool sister app with it as well called Linearity Move, which allows you to animate what you create in Linearity Curve, which is the drawing-based software. And the animations in there that you can get are pretty good. It's very intuitive how it works. I'll link another video down below showing you more about Linearity Move, because that is a really interesting app for anyone who wants to learn animation. So let me know down below which is your favorite drawing app. All of these are just ones that I use quite often, and also some complementary ones for those who want an alternative. So if you haven't done already, please press that subscribe button down below. It lets me know that you enjoy the content that we're doing, and it's a free thing that you can do just to show your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring. Check out the link below, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you soon.